parachutes pop out, and it's going to come back. And you know what? There's a bear in there. That's our pilot. Look around here. This gentleman behind you. He's got a camera on you. We got a bear in there. The bear is our astronaut. And he's going to make sure that the rocket goes up and all the parachutes come out, and then the bear's going to float down on his green parachute. And he's going to be the first bear in space. We have people in space and dogs in space, and he's going to be the first bear ever up there. What do you think of that?
I haven't been up in space.
You know what? I haven't either. This is as close as I can get right here. You go find your grandpa now, and he's going to take you back where it's safe, and we're going to watch this thing fly.
Maybe learning this a little bit. Yeah, that's exactly. Get some members from it.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Dan, watch out. Bob's BO might set the igniters off.
You know what? I'm glad you said it. That's why I'm downwind.
Fred's is a lot worse than Bob than.
Oh, I know.
Not much of a breeze. Which is a good thing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Steve pushing the button.
What's that?
Steve pushing the button.
Oh, I hope.
Accidents, unfortunately. Andrew, he's been around this shit for years, and he's a master motor maker. Not nasty. Darren's a great guy. He doesn't want an accident.
Yeah, I just.
Oh, I see. It kind of faded into the cloud. What the heck? I'm thinking of ready?
Sure.
Good astronaut. Yeah.
We're sitting around waiting for a lift from Dan. When you get ready to do that,
It's gone to that time that everybody came to see. Almost. We're going to be launching the 10th scale, or the night quarter scale, night smoke sounding rocket. This is a launch that we're going to test the upper level winds with. And this rocket and motor is donated by Ben Russell. So we'll give him credit for that. And it's flying on a J350. It's off to the left of the 10th scale Saturn V. And then you're not going to see it to let you know how that's a launch as you go. And we have continuity on that. And we're going to go to test of the sounding rocket in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Launch ready, and we're going in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up! this rocket comes anywhere near you, stand out of the way.
Well, you know what?
We're at 2,000 feet. We're at 2,000 feet coming down. 2,000 feet. And this rocket gets on the ground.
The tower, sir?
Black.
Middle down. It's first way.
I'll get it once the rocket's down.
It's got a recovery too, and it ain't us. Well, I hope they're getting their asses in gear. Their job is just going to be to lay it down. Steve and them will get there, you know.
One 1,000 feet.
It's with it. Tangled up with it, I think, Neil.
It's on the back side, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed a record. All righty. And thank you for everyone that attended today's launch. That was a world record. Like President Kennedy said, we don't do these things because they're easy. We do them because they're hard, and we do them because we're MDLA, and we do it better than anyone on the planet.
Well, let's go see. Come on. Slid over there. Look where it was at.
Tower slid over. Oh my God.
This pad here. Wait, what was sitting on that? That one? That?
The whole thing moved.
Every bit of it, too. Weight and balance works. Nobody. Not a scratch.
Well done, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Say something. Chuck, see the reflection in the water?
So how's it? You find everything else?
You want to lift this up? You want to leave it? I don't care. Go ahead.
Well, you thought you'd lose the fins, and you did a couple.
It's going to be up there. Yeah, I was anticipated.
What about the nose cone?
It's good.
And the upper?
Van Lou and Simon see what they did.
Yeah, really?
I told them.
right, let's get that figure in the front.
Out, so pilot should.
Yeah.
Flew your Saturn V. So how was the flight? Tell me what happened from the time you were getting ready to push the button to after it came down.
Oh, we had perfect winds. We were I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5-mile-an-hour winds, absolutely tops. We had Neil running the flight card out, telling people what was going on. And the old finger started shaking on the button. I finally decided that I was going to be the one to push the button. So yeah, the nerves would hit me real bad. You got 2,000 pounds of rocket sitting on a tower, no clue what's going to happen. So I got accused of having an itchy trigger finger. And I think about 1 second I hit the button, and it didn't sit there at all. That thermite that Dan Michaels used, just instant off the pad, that thing was going. Perfect boost. The boost was almost straight up. The only problem we had was the tower wasn't anchored solidly enough, and it kicked the rocket a little bit over the crowd, but boost was incredible. We hit 44, 41 on the altitude, quite a bit more than what we had expected. But reviewing some of the tapes and footage last night, the chutes came out right where they were supposed to. We had a slight tangle problem. That was designed into things from the beginning when we had redundant chutes on the base. We weren't too worried about the top chute, but we left more chute in it than what we thought we needed, just in case we had a failure, and that worked perfectly also. We had one chute that tangled, didn't fully deploy, another one hooked under a fin, but deployed. So it brought it down 30 feet per second, just what we were kind of shooting for with a safety margin on it.
Do you know how far it drifted from the liftoff?
We actually got a chance last night to look at the GPS, and we were 0.55 miles from the launch pad, the launch point itself.
A little more than a half a mile away.
A little more than half a mile. We were within the parameters we had set for. We also had numbers we were calculating from apogee and parachute deployment to landing, and we were right on the money on that. It was a little off trajectory because of the launch tower moving. We moved that launch tower, and we never weighed it, but I think a ton or ton and a half of launch tower kicked 13 feet away from where it was when the rocket went off. And also gave us a divot. The golfers couldn't understand why I didn't fill my divot, but the divot was 6 feet wide, 4 feet across, and about 1.5 feet deep after it took out the blast deflector. And I kept trying to kick the dirt back in it, but my leg got tired.
Well, that's good. Now, we noticed there's a little damage on the top of it. How hard is that going to be for you to fix that?
That's not bad at all. We had one of the cables when the rocket it tumbled over top of itself, and then the chute opened. So we had one of the webbing dug into about the top 30 inches of the rocket. But what was cool is with fiberglass, as long as it's not out of shape, it's pretty easy to fix. So I have a tear about 30 inches long from the top of the rocket down to almost the base of the payload bay. But that's a relatively easy fix. We have 2 small zippers on the upper command module section. But what we had inside it was a steel ring that was bolted all the way around the inside of the tube. So I knew that if it did zipper, we were only going to go down about 12 inches, and that's where the zipper stopped. Also an easy fix. And the top section landed a little hard on one corner and cracked the bottom of the transition section. That also being an easy fix, but the rest of the structure is totally intact. We cracked the cowling off of 2 fins upon landing, and I anticipated totally wiping out the fins. But as it came down, that last 10 feet, the rocket swung perfectly vertical and planted itself in the field. You could see in the dirt where the rocket came down, it hit, it turned just a little bit, and it bounced a second time and stood.
bounced it.
It did bounce. You can see a fin mark in the dirt, you know, an inch or so away from the other. Once it hit, it bounced a little bit and sat back down and just kind of stood there real proud. Hey, we beat NASA. NASA never has recovered the bottom half of the Saturn V. We recovered it.
I'll have to let them know. Maybe they'll hire you for the next project.
Yeah, there you go.
Anything else you want to say? Anybody else you want to thank?
All in all, I want to thank everybody. The support from people, Rockets Magazine, newspapers, radio stations all over the country following this. Had a lot of support from a lot of people. Just made this thing come off picture perfect flight. And just thank you to everybody.
Thanks, Steve.